So I just got back from Egypt. I rode camels at the pyramids, thought about how crazy my life is.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, is this really all that there is to life? Like, I don't know, man. I mean, is there anything deeper than this?
And lastly, I tried to imagine what the world was like 5,000 years ago. I realized that for most people it kind of sucked, but for some it was awesome. And these people were the pharaohs, so what can we learn from them? Pharaohs had to find balance between their two main jobs, as head of state and as main religious leader. They had to find a balance between practicality and philosophy, between meaning-making and money-making. So as we were in the Valley of the Kings in Luxor, this unbelievably grand place full of tombs and temples, I began thinking about what fueled ancient Egyptian society. And I think it was largely about this idea of an afterlife. You know, what things can I do in this life or can I do towards the end of my life that will prepare me for a prosperous and positive experience in my next life? And while I don't necessarily believe in an afterlife, I do think belief is an incredibly powerful tool, whether as a means to control society or as a means to create a better life for yourself. Whatever you're trying to build, whether that be a YouTube channel or a startup or your own clothing company, whatever it may be, you need to have this deep conviction in whatever you're doing. The only thing that will push you through it is a deep belief that the thing you're doing is the thing you're supposed to be doing. That's the only thing that's going to keep you from quitting. See, I've quit pretty much everything I've ever started, and I think it's because I lacked this conviction that what I am doing is right. I haven't stopped YouTube because I know it is what I'm supposed to be doing. The second idea that pharaohs understood was the fact that you need to be perceived as godlike. Obviously, the belief that an individual is a messiah is a bit of a played out role by now, but there are ways you can implement this in your own life. For instance, my friends often remark about how I might be an alien, right? And I take this as a compliment because I think they mean that I'm original, that I'm not saying things that they've heard before, I'm not doing things that everyone else does, and I'm unique, I'm not afraid to be myself. This idea is something the pharaohs knew was important, and I think it might be applicable to those of us looking to make a mark on the world. And Robert Greene in 48 Laws of Power also remarks on this in a few of his laws. So assume formlessness, play to people's fantasies, act like a king to become one, always seem effortless, and create a cult-like following are all laws in which he identifies as relating to this idea of being superhuman, of being godlike, that will attract this kind of cult of personality, next level persona that can only help you, I feel like. And the last thing that I want to talk about in this video is the idea of being balanced. And you might be thinking, balanced? Ancient Egyptian pharaohs were not balanced. They, had harems of women with 200 children and, ruled an autocratic society. But I'm talking about the idea of balancing all of your different responsibilities, balancing different ways of being, whether that's as a practical and shrewd ruler or as an inspirational and empathetic religious figure. This is the kind of balance that you need as a high-performing individual, I feel like, in today's society. My dad is the CEO of his own company, and he says that his main job is just putting out fires. That's attending to everything. As leader, as ruler, you need to be aware of everything, have balance, and have eyes for everything. Hey guys, thanks for watching. This has been a little Egypt vlog, little philosophical rambling type thing. I kind of just wanted to make an Egypt video, and I was trying to incorporate some sort of self-improvement aspect to it. So sorry they're not like very specific, quantitative techniques or anything. They're more just general. This idea of, belief being such a powerful motivator for yourself and others and knowing how to use that. This idea of trying to become superhuman or be perceived that way. And really so much of life is about your perception, your reputation. It will take you so far, so try to cultivate that. And then lastly, what did we talk about? And then lastly, we talked about this idea of balance. I thought it was interesting. I don't know exactly how to implement it. I guess my struggle has always been the difference between a generalist and a specialist. and trying to find a balance between those two things, trying to create this, kind of T-shaped life where you know a lot, like a little bit about everything, but then go really deep on, certain areas. And, I'm trying to do that, but then trying to pick those things where you really go deep is difficult, especially like when I'm not a, computer science person. I feel like that's kind of the future, or a biology person where I feel like that's kind of the future, trying to figure out what things to really pursue with your whole heart and build that conviction around that we talked in the first point is something I'm still working on. And, if you guys are thinking about these same kind of things, if you guys are trying to become the best version of yourself, experiment with different business models, experiment with growing an audience, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to connect, and subscribe if you want to hear about, my journey through these things, as I continue to learn and share lessons and little gold nuggets I pick up along the way. So thanks for watching. Thanks for taking the time, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you very much. Peace out.